Alright, let's do some word problems now. Alright, so let's read it. In triangle ABC, angle B is 3/7 as big as angle A. If angle C is 11 degrees more than B, then find the angles. Okay, so we know in a triangle the sum is 180 degrees. So we're told that the vertices are A, B, and C. That means we're going to have an angle A, we're going to have an angle B, and an angle C. Okay. Now, we are told angle B is, so that means we're going to look at angle B, and that's going to equal something, right? It is 3/7 as big as angle A. So angle B is 3/7 as big as A. And anytime you're taking a fraction of something, it's actually the multiplication of that fraction. So we're going to say 3/7 A. Well, if I just used X, that means I'm going to call angle A X. Angle C is 11 more than B. Okay, well here's B. B is 3/7 X. So C is 11 more than that. So we're going to take our angle B, which is 3/7 X, and we're going to add 11 to it. Now we have to write an equation. Well, the equation is just the triangle sum theorem, right? Add all the angles, set them equal to 180. So we're going to have X plus 3/7 X plus 3/7 X plus 11 equals 180. Now we're going to want to combine like terms because we have 3 different x's and we have that 11, right? So eventually I'm going to be solving for x. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first subtract over the 11, and then I'm going to worry about combining these like terms. Well, actually, we could combine the like terms, right? Why not? There's a 1 in front of the x, so this becomes 1 and 6/7 x equals 169. Now, I'm going to convert this mixed number into an improper fraction. So to do that, we do 7 times 1 is 7 plus 6, that's 13/7 x equals 169. And when you know from Algebra 1, when you have a fraction in the front as the coefficient, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal to cancel out that fraction, right? So we could cross cancel and we end up with 1x, which is just x. We can reduce here. 13 goes into 169 13 times, so we end up doing 13 times 7, which is 91 degrees. Okay? And it says to find the angles. So we want to come back here and find the actual angle measures. So the measure of angle the measure of angle A would be 91 degrees. And if we did 3/7 of that, so I'm going to times by 3 and divide by 7, I get angle B is 39 degrees. And we have to add 11 to that, right? So that should be 50 degrees. And then I just want to make sure that they do, in fact, add up to 180. Because, just to make sure, and they do. So there's our right answers. Yay, we did it. All right, let me highlight them. Yay, those are our correct answers. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, so here's another one. Bring up the pen. In triangle ABC, angle A is 10 degrees less than 1/3 of angle B, and angle C is 1/2 of angle A. Find the angles. So I'm going to start with my angle A, angle B, and angle C. Now this one's a little different. It says angle A is 10 degrees less than 1/3 B. So that means we're gonna write an expression for A. So it's 10 less than. So when we say 10 less than something, it means we're subtracting 10 from something, and it's 1/3 of B. Well, I don't know B, so I'm going to call angle B X and leave that as X in that expression. All right, angle C is 1/2 of angle A. Ooh, now that's complicated because I already have this somewhat complicated expression for angle A. But that's okay, we could do half of it. So we're going to do 1/2 times the quantity of 1/3 x minus 10. And just to get this over with, I am going to distribute in that 1/2. So I get 1/6 x minus 5. So now when I go to set up my equation, I'm going to say 1/3 x minus 10 plus x plus 1/6 x minus 5 equals 180. Okay. So we're going to want to combine like terms, okay? But this is different than the first example because now our denominators are uncommon. They're not like denominators. So I'm going to actually combine my, or simplify by combining my coefficients or my constant terms. So I get 1/3 x plus 1/6 x, and this would become a minus 15, right? Which then we add 15 over, so we get equals 195. Now, do you remember the trick in algebra, what to do when you want to cancel out a fraction in an equation? We would have to multiply everything by that common denominator, and when I mean everything, I mean everything. So we're going to multiply everything by the common denominator of 6, okay? And we're going to distribute in the 6. We're going to literally multiply it by every single term. So we would get 2x plus 6x plus x equals, and let me do this on the calculator, 195 times 6 is 1170. Now it becomes a lot easier to handle combining like terms and solving. So we would get 9x equals 1170. So divide by 9, we get 130 degrees. Okay, well, we know x is 130. Let's go back up to our expressions. So x is 130, that's my angle B. If I take 130 and I substitute it in for x of angle A, I'm going to get 130 divided by 3 minus 10. And you're going to see that 130 divided by 3 does not go in evenly. We end up with a decimal. So if I do 130, if on my calculator, I do 130 divided by 3, and then I get subtract 10, so I get 33. This is 33.3 repeating, right? Well, these are angle measures, and angle measures have to be written in degrees and minutes and seconds. So we need to convert that 0.33 or 0.3 repeating into minutes. Well, 0.3 repeating is 1/3. What's 1/3 of 60? That's 20. So this is actually 33 degrees, 20 minutes. If you don't see that on the calculator, if you have the function for it, you could do that angle menu. Remember we did that back in chapter 1, and convert to degrees, minutes, seconds. Okay? So for angle C, if we did 1/6x minus 5, right? Well, if I do 130 divided by 6 minus 5, I get 18.6 repeating. Well, that's 2/3 of an hour, and 2/3 of an hour is 40 minutes. So this becomes 18 degrees, 40 minutes. So on your calculator, you could add up these three angles and make sure that they add up to 180 degrees, which is the sum and side of any triangle, right? The triangle sum theorem. And you would see that it in fact does equal 180.